Hey everybody, Dr. Mike Hattabaugh, and stay tuned for 3 tips on how your relationship can thrive even during the coronavirus. So I've been getting a lot of phone calls and online connections with people that want to know what can we do when we're stuck together. I'm finding myself, being a little snappier than I normally am, and we're fighting over stuff we don't normally fight over. What's going on? Well, I can tell you that that's completely normal. You're under stress. It's a stressful time right now. We don't know where the world's going. We don't know where anything's going. We don't know where our kids are going back to school. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. And one of the things that happens is when we're close together with people that we love, we end up saying and doing things that step on each other's toes. And the next thing you know, we're mad at each other and things aren't very good. So today I want to give you 3 tips that will help you get through this time that's such a crisis. And if you'll enact them into your relationship, they can last over a lifetime and they'll make a really big difference. You ready? Tip number 1. Tonight, before you go to bed, I want you to grab each other, look each other in the eyes, and say, hey, did I hurt your feelings today? Did I miss it? Did I do or say something that I shouldn't have and you were hurt and I just missed it? Can you tell me what it was? And then let your partner tell you yes or no. And there may have been something. And if they say no, great, then you can celebrate that, right? And then hopefully you need to ask them to do the same, do you want me to tell you? You should probably talk about this ahead of time. So at the end of the day, I want you to come together, hug each other, and I want you to look in your partner's eye and say, hey, have I done anything today that really upset you? If there is, can you tell me right now? That is so powerful if you really mean that. And then let your partner tell you how your day went. And if there was something, receive that. Now, hopefully they'll go, no, today was great. And then you can celebrate that and move on. But if they have something to tell you, just listen. Don't try to fix it. Even if it sounds like it's a little wrong, maybe that they might have misinterpreted what you said, just receive it and say, you know what, I really didn't mean it that way. I'm so sorry it upset you or it made you worry about something. Will you forgive me? And let them receive that. Now, forgiveness is something that we have a hard time asking for, but the power in it means I'm not only wanting you to receive the fact that I didn't want to hurt you, but I'm promising that I'm going to try not to do it again. Don't say that if you don't mean it. Now, it's great if ahead of time your partner and you can get together and say, you know what, let's agree to do this together. And then after you say that, let them ask you, so did I do anything today? And if there's something that they did, gently tell them, hey, when this happened, I didn't like that, or this was frustrating when this happened. Maybe it wasn't anything that they did, but just a situation that went on in your day. But when we do that at the end of the day, we kind of let the day go. The Bible says, don't let the sun go down on your anger. And that's a great way to do that, is to come together and say, hey, I'm just checking in, because a lot of times we go to sleep at night and we're mad at our partner and they don't even know it. We think they should figure it out. Well, right now there's enough to worry about, so let's do that and come together, and at the end of the day, that'll make a big difference, all right? So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is something that I love. I've been telling a lot of clients this lately, and we've been walking through the dynamics, how to do that, and a lot of them are coming back and saying, wow, it's made a huge difference in our relationship. It's something I talk about in my Hero Marriage course, which you can check the links down below to how to take that whole course. But I want to give you an intro to it right here. And it's called simmering. And what simmering is agreeing that during this time when you're going to be stressful and working on stuff and the kids are around, is at least 2 minutes a day, come together as a couple and say, you know what? Let's just hold each other like lovers. You came together as lovers. You may or may not have created children as lovers, but the reality is that we're lovers, and that's a part of who we are. And sometimes we get caught up in our daily life and we forget to engage that. So Dr. Stephen Snyder, a great book, by the way, if you want to look up a great therapy book for marriage therapists. But anyway, that's who I learned this from, and I love that context of simmering. And it's just where you come together for 2 minutes a day and say, you know what, we're going to hold each other as lovers. There's a lot more detail to it than that. But if you'll just come together 2 minutes right now during the stressful time and say, you know what, for 2 minutes a day, we're just going to look at each other and go, you know what, this is my beloved. This is the person that I love. And we're just going to connect for 2 minutes. Now, it can go longer than that if you want to. But promise each other to come together. Set a time in the day where it happens. And again, if you want to go longer than 2 minutes, If you both agree, go for it. But agree that you're going to do that at least for 2 minutes every day from now on going forward, and it'll make a big difference in your life. All right, so that was tip number 2. Tip number 3. You know, the Bible says to not worry. It says, don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will take care of itself. Today has enough worries of its own. You know, a lot of us are concerned about how long is this going to last? Are we going to be locked into our houses forever? When is the big thing going to hit? And maybe you're watching this video and it's already hit. But the truth is there's lots of things to worry about right now. But if you're worried about tomorrow, you're using emotional energy that you need today. Your worry about tomorrow isn't going to make a single bit of difference on how today goes. You know, at the beginning of this, my oldest daughter got married right in the middle of this as it began to build. She got married and we had lots of worry about, is everybody going to show up or is nobody going to show up? People couldn't come. My parents couldn't make it. I mean, lots of details that just got caught up in the fact. But at the end of the day, guess what? She got married. It was a beautiful marriage ceremony and lots of people showed up. And I will tell you that all that worry didn't matter, because at the end of the day, it happened, and in the long run, it'll be memories. Now, there are people that didn't make it that are sad, but you know what? The future holds both good and bad. But worrying about it isn't going to make any difference in our future. Now, listen carefully. I'm not saying don't plan for tomorrow. Planning for tomorrow is important. I live in Arizona, and we just were listed as the #1 state for toilet paper shortages in the country. That's definitely something to plan for tomorrow. Thankfully, I already had some in my garage, so I've got enough for a little bit, but I sure hope it gets in stock soon. But the point here is that we worry about so many things when reality is we're living in today. And certainly plan for tomorrow. Think about what you're going to need in the future, but if you're spending emotional energy worrying about it, it's displaced. Same thing in your relationship. If you're worried about whether your relationship's going to make it a week, 2 weeks, 4 months, that's displaced emotions. Now, have a plan for it. I walk couples through what I call a percentage activity, where we sit down and we walk through, okay, well, what's the percentage likelihood that this happens? And what's the percentage likelihood that this happens? And we'll look through almost all the scenarios that something, now you can't get every detail, but the general guidelines, and we'll say, okay, that's how much energy, emotional energy, you should be spending planning for that. So if it's 90% chance this happens, then you should be spending 90% of your energy thinking about that. If it's 20% chance or 40%, whatever it is, that's how you should designate your energy about planning for something. But worry, quit worrying about anything tomorrow. Just worry about today. You know, there's lots of people online that want to tell you the sky's falling. And you know what? It might fall, but guess what? If it falls tomorrow, there's nothing you can do to stop it today. Now, if your bills don't get paid because you didn't write the check, that's bad planning. But if things happen that are out of your control, you get sick even though you did everything to protect yourself, or you can't go do the activities you plan on doing, that's nothing you can do anything about. So quit worrying about it and just worry about today. I give you permission to worry about today instead of tomorrow. Just today. My guess is right now you're watching this and you probably know what you're going to do today. And probably if you're watching this video, you know that you're going to end up in bed at the end of the day. And so plan for the day to happen that way. Make connections to your loved ones, your partner, your kids, your family. Maybe call somebody that you haven't heard from in a while just to connect, just to say hello, to see how they're doing. Now's a great time to do that. You know, there's some friends that you haven't called in decades. It's amazing the power of that and what it'll do to your relationship. Maybe you'll go back and let me give you some things to call. Maybe you'll call somebody that maybe you and your wife or husband went out on a double date with when you were dating all those years ago, or even last month, however long that was. Maybe it's somebody from your life that invested in you that you need to connect with. Show some gratitude. All right, so those are 3 tips that you need to engage, and I guarantee if you do those 3 things, your relationship's going to grow, it's going to get healthier, and it's going to improve. All right, so I want to ask you to do a favor. Would you please hit that subscribe button and notification button there on the YouTube channel, so that when I make these videos, you'll be the first to be notified, and it also helps us go higher up in the YouTube rankings so that more people can see videos like this. And if you really like this video, please share it with somebody that needs it. My guess is right now you know somebody that's stressing right now a lot about their relationship that maybe needs these little simple tips that they can put to use in their life. We'd also love it if you consider being part of our Patreons. They get listed at the end of our videos. Once we get enough of those, we'll be posting those. But there's a link in the bottom below where you can support us, and we certainly would appreciate that. We love making these videos. The other thing you can do is go to heromarriage.com and take one of our courses, or sign up to be part of one of our ongoing live video streams where we're going to be working with multiple couples at a time to help you develop a hero marriage, whether you're just starting out, whether you're about to get married, or whether you've been married for a long time. We've got lots of tips and tools that can help you. I've been doing relationships for a long time, and I love helping people get better at connecting with their partners. Again, I'm Dr. Mike Hattabaugh. Thanks for watching, and have a hero marriage.